What is up, guys? Giant01 here with another episode of FIFA 16 Formation Review / Guide. We're going to be talking about the safest formation in FIFA 16, and that is the 4-1-2-1-2. This, guys, is a classic formation. It has been stellar in multiple FIFAs over the years, and in FIFA 16, once again, it is extremely effective and extremely safe. So again, guys, we're going to be talking about everything in this formation, the instructions, the best players to use, the pros, the cons, you name it, we're going to talk about it. So we're going to start it off with the right back and the left back, and of course, like in any other formation that has four in the back, I like to tell them to stay back while attacking, and that's the only thing. Again, guys, those are probably the weakest positions in all of FIFA, so really what you really need is just pretty good pace and pretty good defending, above 80 on both, give or take. If you have more pace, you can do less defending, more defending, you can have less pace, but really around 80-80. Now, we're going to be talking about the center backs, and for the center backs, guys, again, really important whenever you got 4-back formation to have great center backs, to have at least 80 defending and at least 70 pace. That'll allow you to get back on those counterattacks as well as to be really stout. Again, guys, pace isn't as important as the previous FIFAs, but you still want to have at least 70 just in case. Really defending, the higher you can get it, the better. Goalkeeper, once again, reflexes, position, and diving. The most important positions. Again, for all these players in defense, just tell them to be on their default instructions, which is stay back while attacking, and goalkeeper has no instructions. Then we get to the important part. This is the first formation, guys, that has just one CDM that I've talked about. Usually I like to have either two CDMs or one CDM, but next to him have some center mids or just multiple center mids next to each other. That way they can also be defensive and help out. In this formation, you only have one CDM. He is the only other person that's going to allow you and help you out on defense. Because of this, and one of the cons in this formation, if you don't have the right players, is that you must have a great CDM. It's going to really rely this defense on how good that CDM is. You really have to put a lot of, if you're going to make a team on Ultimate Team, the most expensive player probably will be that CDM, just because you need him to be good. Philip Lahm, who's great at defense, who's pretty quick, and he can cover a lot of the pitch. You don't really have help back there with any other center midfielders or any other center defensive midfielder, so make sure you have really good players there. At least 70 pace, at least 75 defense, and good passing, but really the most important thing is defense and pace, and just make sure he's a really good player that likes to stay back a little bit, because he's going to be in charge of that whole thing. And if you play defense like I do, I really like to use that center defensive mid and apply pressure with him. Now, for the wingers, we got left mids and a right mid. Again, guys, usually these players, they need to be pretty quick, pretty good shooters, pretty good dribbling, and I like to tell them to stay wide, get in behind, and stay forward. If you already have their center defensive mid, if you feel comfortable with your defense, I like to tell them to stay forward. If you do not feel so comfortable with your center defensive mid, or just because you just don't feel that much comfortable and you want them to stay back and help out a little bit on defense, well then don't tell them to stay forward. Leave them at their default instructions. But if you want them to stay forward, if you don't need them on the defense, definitely tell them to get in behind and stay forward. Again, guys, I forgot to tell you, for the center defensive mids, I like to tell them to stay back while attacking and to cut passing lanes, just like in any other formation. For the center attacking mid, I like to keep him the same as he is. I do like to tell him to stay forward. Again, guys, just like this left mid and right mid, if you don't need him on defense, tell him to stay forward. Don't let him waste his stamina, because stamina is so important in FIFA 16. It diminishes so quickly, so you really don't want him to be wasting energy coming back on defense, when really, if he's a center attacking mid, he's probably not very good at defense anyways. Then lastly, the two strikers up front. This is, once again, this is a second formation I talk about with two strikers up front. And I like to have one that is stay central and target man. He's usually a little bit slower, but he's great at dribbling, great at shooting, great at passing. And this is the guy you want to get the ball to. He's going to be hanging around outside the penalty box. If you put stay central and target man, he's going to be hanging out around outside the penalty box. You want him to get him the ball and then look for everyone else. The center attacking mid as well. You want to get him the ball. This is a formation you really want to do it from the center, and allows you to get it to the outside by those outside players making some runs. Now, The other striker, I like to have him be a little bit more pacier. Since you have the freedom of having 2 strikers, I want him to be a little bit more pacier, sort of like a Sturridge, Remy, something like that, where he can get in behind. So I would like to tell him to stay central. Instead of being target man, I tell him to get in behind. That way I can get the ball to my striker that is stay central and target man, and then look for that man, the other striker, making a nice little run, and I can give him a nice little through ball, or look for my left mids and right mids making some runs. And that is the best way, I think. Get it near the penalty box, do some skill moves with your strikers, and look for those open people making some nice little runs. Now, this formation I think is great. Once again, I think it's the safest formation. This is my favorite formation. If you like 2 strikers, this is the formation you should go to. The other one I would think about is a 3-5-2. But if you do not feel that comfortable with 3 back formations, if you don't feel comfortable making sure that they stay in their lanes and stay back, then you definitely want to go with this. It's much safer. The problem is, once again, guys, you only have 1 center defensive mid, so you really need to have a great center defensive mid, and if you don't, your defense could be eaten alive. But definitely, I like this formation in FIFA 16 much more than FIFA 15. I think it really helps out that pace isn't that important, that you don't really need those 2 center defensive mids or help with the center defensive mid if you have the right player in that position. Again, the attacking is stellar because you have so many people. You got left mid, right mid, center attacking mid, and 2 strikers. That is a really solid attack. The only part that could be a little bit bad, once again, guys, I can't stress it enough, is the defense. But I think they're both going to be good as long as you have good players, and it's going to be really safe, really reliable. It's going to be a great attack, and you're really going to be able to score a lot of points. It's really balanced, great positioning for your players. So I definitely do recommend this formation if you like the 2 strikers and you don't want to use a 3-5-2. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and share with all your friends. Get it to as many people as possible. Click on the top left if you want to see some of my tutorials. I got dribbling, defense, passing, you name it, I got it. Click on the top left. Click on the top right if you want to see my Road to Glory series, my Road to Division 1 tip series. Click on the bottom left if you want to see all my other formation reviews, including that 3-5-2, the 4-2-3-1 second variation, which is my favorite formation in FIFA 16. And click in the bottom right to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future formation reviews, tips, or tutorial videos. Thank you guys so much for watching.